Hey guys, in this video we're going to talk about arrow functions, which is basically an extension of the functions video that I made last time. But before I begin, please like and comment on the video and please sub to the channel, alright? I'd greatly appreciate that. Okay, so before we begin, right, arrow functions. So what I'm going to start out is that I'm going to talk about the difference between arrow and normal functions, and then I'll go over a demo. Okay, so the normal functions that, we're used to are, the function word, and then we type, like add one or something like that. And then we have an input, and then we do return x plus one, right? So that's how it is. And this is just the typical syntax. So we have the function keyword, the name of the function, and then we return, return x plus one, okay? So that's the whole idea with the add one or the function syntax, is that it has a strict, style. But, with the new styles of JavaScript and this ES6, which is like one of the more recent ones, they invented something called the arrow function. And the arrow function basically has two main benefits. One is that it doesn't need a return. And the second is that it's automatically bounded to the this keyword. So I'm going to explain both of those. So let's explain the first one. So I actually don't need the this keyword. So let me show you what I mean. So the way arrow functions look is I can say something like const mult, and then I can take like two parameters. And whenever there's more than one parameter, I have to give the parentheses to signify that it's a parameter. And then I give the arrow, fat arrow, so equal and greater than. And then I can just say x times y. Okay. So now what I can do console.log mult of, 9 and 8. Right, so that should give me 72. Right, oh, what happened? Right, so it gives you 72. So I didn't need a return. Now, if there's more than one line, you might need a return. But since this is just one line, it's fine. The return isn't needed. So, the thing with this is it looks much cleaner. It looks a lot better. And that's why arrow functions have been very, very popular. All right, now let me talk about the second use case of the arrow function. So the best way I can describe this is with an object. And to talk about the this keyword, right? So when I explained earlier that arrow functions are automatically bounded to the this keyword. So what is the this keyword? The this keyword just means context. I was thinking of making a video on it, but honestly, you can just conceptually understand that the this keyword just refers to the context that it's in, right? So right now I'm in the global file, so the this just refers to the file. But if I make like an object and I use this inside the object, then this will refer to the object, not necessarily the global file. So let me show you what I mean. So I'm going to make an object, and I'm going to have like name as a none. And then let's say I have a print method, and this will be a function, right? And let's just say I want to print the name, right? And what I can do is I can have like an inner function. So function inner. And then I'll just do console.log this.name, right? And then I'll just invoke the inner function. Let's just say, right? So I know typically you would just, you say this.name in the outer print function. But just for sake of example, I'm going to show you why the arrow functions are really king in this scenario, in a lot of scenarios. So yeah, this is how it works, right? So I have the print key, it maps to a function, and then I have an inner function, and I'm going to invoke the inner function inside the outer function. All right. So now I'm going to do obj.print, and let's just see what happens. Okay. So if you notice, it actually says undefined, and that might strike you at first saying, wait, but that this is in the object, so it should be referring globally. And this actually happens a lot, right? So you might not experience this anytime soon or with these examples, but a lot of times when you're using another function or you're in another context, you're actually going to lose the this context that you want, right? In this case, we want the context of the obj, right, the objects that we can access the name field. But since I made a function inside, it's gonna, the this keyword is referring to this function, not necessarily the whole thing. So now let's see if there's a way we can fix this. So what if I did console.log this.name here, right? And this is what probably most of you guys would do, right? So now let's hit play. And now you see that Adnan is actually printed. And let's actually put like a marker here so to prove that it was this. So now you can see that, right, with the here Adnan. So when on line 21, it's printing fine. And why is that? Because I'm in the print function. So this keyword here is going to refer globally to, the object, right? But if I have an inner function, that's not appropriately referring to the right variable. So let's say you actually wanted to do this, right? This is a straightforward task, so you might not do it this indirectly. But let's say you really wanted to do this. You wanted to have an inner function inside of the key function, print, right? Because print is the key. And you wanted to print the name here. So it's actually not an impossible task. You can do this, right? A naive way to do this would be like var that equals this. And then you would say like that.name. So you can hit play. Oh, what happened? Yeah, it sometimes closes. Let me pause. Okay, so now let's do this. I'll run it. Okay, so now it actually works because I captured the context before and then I invoked it. But this is obviously not clean. So what is the best way to do it? And it's arrow functions, right? The whole point of the video. So what you want to do is you can just invoke the arrow function way. So inner, right, space equals, make sure you do the fat arrow, and then now it should work. So here, and then inner. Let's do it like that. And this should work. So let's do Control V and print. Oh, what happened? Oh, what should it be? Oh, because it's like a console, then a console. Okay, so let's just try it like this then. Oops, what's going on? Inner. Yeah, I don't know. Let me see. That is not defined. Oh, oops. This.name. Okay, so now let me clear this and hit play. And now you see, okay, Adnan is printing on the screen. So that's the whole idea with arrow functions is you have a lot more flexibility, right? So I'm going to end it here and sum it up. So what is the first benefit of arrow functions? There's many, but the two that I highlighted is that you don't need a return statement. You can just put an elegant one-liner and it'll work, right? And the second one is that, a lot of times when you're working with other functions inside other, objects or other data structures, you're going to lose this context, right? So then you're going to make a function inside, and then you can still have this context as long as you're using the arrow function. If you're not, you're going to have to do that var that equals this, which is obviously unelegant, not good. It'll look really bad in an interview if you do that. And yeah. All right. So I have much more to come, much more videos to come. So I can't wait to see you then. All right. Bye.